So here's the final takeaway. If AMD scales its AI platform faster than the market expects, earning power can reset materially higher, which I think it will. So your agentic AI keeps expanding. Helios Racks becomes validated. Hyperscaler partners improve visibility. ROCm remains the key software proof point and high conviction. So a lot of good things coming. Like I said, it's been a lot of good upgrades for AMD stock. I'm still a bullish. This is like 27% of my portfolio right now. Make sure you all follow me. Like in a private portfolio, we've been buying AMD over a year now. We were buying in the low hundreds and the 80s. So this will be my first 10 bagger, guys. Just showing transparency on the channel and continue to build on my thesis. What's up, fam? Welcome to the J West TV. You know, my channel, hit that like, comment, subscribe button. We cover all things AI, investing, business, self-improvement content. Take a look at all my past videos. Good game. Make sure y'all catch up. If you're not familiar with the channel, I do have a public stock portfolio. I am a pretty big AMD investor currently. This is my public portfolio. Currently bought in AMD. We was buying $100 range, $80 range about a year ago. You know, I have a lot of old videos on my past, just about pounding the table on AMD. Buy the stock or retire early. It was in the $80, $100 range. I put this out a couple months ago when we saw that inflection point with agentic AI. It was about 250, 300. Now we at 550. You know, we just got some price target upgrades as well. If you don't follow me on X. Bars just raised AMD price target to 1250 from 625, a double up. So we have a lot of catalysts, a lot of things going on. I just released a video too, just updating my AMD thesis. So go watch that on my channel as well. Today I want to do an advancing AI event recap. AMD just had it this past week, depending on when this drops. And there's a lot of good nuggets that I want to recap and cover for you all and just for myself. And the investment thesis has been updated a tad bit, you know, so let's go ahead and get into it. So AMD advancing AI 2026. Why agentic AI just changed the AMD investment thesis. The agentic AI, Helios Rack, EPYC Venice CPUs, and the ROCm are the major growth stories right now for AMD. We've seen customer validation across Microsoft, Meta, OpenAI, Anthropic, and Cerebras, some of the top companies in the game right now, some of the top frontier labs right now. So JR Global recap built for YouTube and a portfolio strategy. So just some quick data highlights. $2 trillion of AI compute opportunity by 2030, $1.4 trillion AMD AI TAM by 2030, and a 220 billion server CPU TAM by 2030. Big numbers. Here's a one slide takeaway for you guys, executive summary. AMD is repositioning from an AI GPU challenger to a full stack AI infrastructure platform. So AMD is no longer just selling chips, it's selling an AI infrastructure with all of its acquisitions, ZT Systems, Xilinx, Pensando, Node AI, all those acquisitions these past years that Wall Street didn't understand is for right now. They're looking in the future. Agentic AI multiplies demand for GPUs, CPUs, and networking. Agentic AI is essentially your personal agents, your codex that's literally just doing work for you, doing tasks for you. If you do want to see some cool examples, I've been playing around with codex and trading agentic. So I use ChatGPT and codex to build a Robinhood AI trading agent. So check out these two videos if y'all want to see what kind of like an agent looks like as well. Helios moves AMD into rack scale AI systems. You know, you have your GPUs, your CPUs, your networking, all those type of stuff. This is the full stack right here, networking and the software. Hyperscaler partnerships increase roadmap credibility. We had people, like I said, from Anthropic, Meta, Microsoft, the whole big tech was there. And ROCm software remains the biggest proof point. So, agentic AI changes the workload. Autonomous agents do not just generate tokens, they orchestrate work. So, you have the user intent, the AI agent, your tools and your APIs, memory and data, execution, all means more compute. CPU orchestration coordinates agents, memory, and workflows. The GPU inference, this is what generates ranks and reasons over tokens. And the networking, that's what moves the data across rack and cluster scale. So all agentic AI just increases the compute and the constraint on all these areas of the workload. Another highlight, compute demand is exploding. AMD framed agentic AI as a step function increase in infrastructure demand. 160x token growth over the past 2 years, 2 trillion AI compute opportunity. I showed you those early, 1.4 trillion AMD AI TAM by 2030, and a 220 billion server CPU TAM by 2030. So if intelligence gets cheaper, user expands, which means more agents, which means more tokens, more inference, more CPU orchestration, more power efficient infrastructure demand. So the market opportunity, AMD still clarified we are compute constrained. We need more compute. Agentic AI has hit an inflection point, and the token cost and the tokens are increasing crazy. So next is the Helios platform, another part that they really touched on. Helios is the platform pivot. AMD is competing at rack level, not only in individual chips. So we have mass MI455 GPU acceleration. We have your EPYC Venice CPUs orchestration that are starting to get a lot of traction with agentic AI. You have your Pensando networking, which is the low latency fabric. So you have to connect all these data centers together. The networking is very key because it does play into TCO, total cost of ownership, with basically latency. If you have good networking, you can transfer, you can data faster. And you have the ROCm software open ecosystem. Helios could increase AMD's revenue per deployment and make AMD more strategic to hyperscaler and AI factories. A lot of customer momentum in this event, guys. A lot of customer momentum. The strongest proof is co-design and multi-year deployment, not one benchmark. They've been co-designing with Microsoft, Meta, OpenAI, Anthropic, Cerebras, Cisco, AT&T, and Nutanix. AMD customer story is expanding from second source to co-design AI infrastructure. So they're basically not even just giving them what they have. They're co-designing with these big companies so they can come together, use their engineers to customize, to shape the product to what the client needs, which is very important because you don't want to give them something that may or may not work to their needs. Every workload is different. So a lot of validation that came. Here's some catalysts to watch. AI GPU revenue, gross margins, Helios ramp, new customer disclosures, and ROCm adoption. CPUs are back in the AI story. Agentic AI makes orchestration as important as raw generation. So the EPYC launched in 2017. The Turin leadership started in 2025, 2026. They started ramping Venice in Q4 2026, and then you have the Florence Zen 7 coming in 2028. The agentic workloads increase CPU cycles for planning, tool calling, memory, permission, retrieval, and workflow orchestration. If you go to that video I showed y'all with Robinhood AI Trading, you can see me approving every action that the agent does. So it might go to this folder, go to this browser, then I have to approve it. Then it wants to make this change, I have to approve it. It's a lot of different workloads and retrievals and bringing it back to me and workflow that's going on when you're using these agents. A lot of times my computer freezes. I can't even handle some of the workload that I'm doing. So it's real. And I did that to test it. I wanted to test the thesis. I really wanted to see what these agents are doing, what it looks like. And it's a lot of compute that it needs, a lot of orchestration that goes on in the background, clicking and stuff. So make sure y'all look into that video. You can really see it firsthand. ROCm is the execution variable software, very, very crucial. NVIDIA software is CUDA, which has been remaining superior and one of NVIDIA's moat, but I believe AMD is eating at that moat. Hardware earns attention, software adoption determines durability. So right now, ROCm has been updating every 6 weeks. Performance, more kernels and features. Developers are having lower friction. Customers are using more workloads in the ecosystem. This is a CUDA alternative, like I was just mentioning to you guys. AI coding agents also may reduce the cost and time required to optimize workloads on ROCm. Anthropic definitely highlighted this and saying they've been using AI to catch ROCm software up to date on their platform, and it has been working. But CUDA remains a major moat until production data proves otherwise. But hey, definitely eating at their moat, and ROCm software is getting good. Open source is definitely good. So what could derail the thesis? The event was very bullish, but the stock still requires execution and a premium multiple. So NVIDIA/CUDA moat is still there. So the software still needs proof. Packaging and supply, high bandwidth memory, power, networking can constrain the ramp, which is why they're making strategic partnerships to lock in a lot of that supply. They just acquired a memory company or something like that too to reduce the memory needed for these. So they're making the right acquisitions. Valuation, great company, but it can still be expensive at the major run. But the market may still give them that premium. You have your custom ASICs, so your TPUs, your Trainium, your ASICs. They're all competing for inference. Amazon, Microsoft, they're all building their own chips, but they're not hyper focused like an AMD and NVIDIA. And CapEx cycle. If hyperscalers that just spending, multiples can compress. So what I'm really watching is AI GPU revenue, the gross margins, Helios shipment, ROCm adoption, the software, and CPU pricing. Like in my last video, I said we're in that $550 to $700 range right now. We just received a major 1250 price target. I think we see that bullet target here. Multi-gigawatt customers at scale, mass ROCm adoption improves, and premium platform multiple. So here's the final takeaway. If AMD scales its AI platform faster than the market expects, earning power can reset materially higher, which I think it will. So your agentic AI keeps expanding. Helios racks becomes validated. Hyperscaler partners improve visibility. ROCm remains the key software proof point and high conviction. So a lot of good things coming. Like I said, it's been a lot of good upgrades for AMD stock. I'm still a bullish. This is like 27% of my portfolio right now. Make sure you all follow me. Like in a private portfolio, we've been buying AMD over a year now. We were buying in the low hundreds and the 80s. So this will be my first 10 bagger, guys. Just showing transparency on the channel and continue to build on my thesis. We continue to be compute constrained. AMD has been making the right steps. This is why it's important to invest in good leadership. Good leadership is important. With my Nebius position, my AMD, my Palantir, my Zeta, my Robinhood, my Elf, all great leadership, all great leadership. So they know what to execute. They can see the timeline. 2022, 2023, Lisa Su was talking about these acquisitions, but you have to stay patient. Patience is a big thing in this game, guys. But I hope you enjoyed this video. This is a recap for the Advancing AI event. A lot of good nuggets, maybe some things I missed as well. But that was an overview from what I got from it. And we're just getting started. AMD gonna double up, man. JRoss TV, we out.